Hello everyone, this is going to be a much more casual episode of Let's Play Star Wars Rogue Squadron as I go over some of the features that this game has and what you can play around with after you've finished most of the regular challenges of the game. It looks like we have a demo starting here. Let me get that skipped. Here we go. Because you see, this game does have a bit more depth to it than just the 16 missions we've already played. There are 3 bonus missions that we've also unlocked, as well as some options and things that I haven't gone over yet in any of the videos. Let me go ahead and take a look at the options menu while we're here. Looks like we've got biographies, passcodes, game settings, your usual stuff. Well, let's go over some of the stuff that we've got here. Let me see. Biographies, that'll be good.
Wedge Antilles, born on Corellia, had a hard life growing up. His parents were freighter pilots, killed trying to save a space station when Wedge was young. He's got a natural ability to lead, and I wouldn't be surprised if someday Wedge became a rogue leader, but he'd much rather be flying missions than attending parades. An excellent pilot, Wedge saved my life at the Death Star, and I owe him. I expect to see Wedge do great things for the Rebellion. Dak is one of the newer, younger pilots, and I don't know him as well. He replaced Biggs after the Battle of Yavin, and is showing promise as an X-Wing pilot. He's still new, though, but what he lacks in experience, he makes up in enthusiasm. He sort of reminds me of myself back when all I wanted was a little excitement and a chance to take on the Empire. Hobby is the skeptic of Rogue Group. He doesn't warm up quickly to new ideas, but he never challenges the authority of his superiors. Hobby just does most of his thinking on the inside. You never hear from him unless he has something absolutely crucial to say. He originally trained at the Imperial Academy with Biggs and Porkins, and he jumped ship at the same time they did too. Since then he's been working in the Solar System, running guns, but now he's been chosen to fly with Rogue Squadron. Zev is a little older than the rest of us. He's probably got a few stories to tell, but he keeps pretty quiet. He joined up some time ago after the Empire killed his parents for secretly supplying the Rebellion. Since then, he's been a great asset, once holding off 3 TIE fighters while an Alliance transport fled into hyperspace. I've only seen Jansen truly happy when he was manning the guns of a Y-Wing or Snowspeeder. He's a gunner, first and foremost. Wedge swears by his accuracy and knack for hitting small moving targets, like TIE fighters. Jansen always has a short temper, though. Many is the time we've had to pull him out of a cantina fight, but I would trust him with my life. Kaysen was born on Alderaan and joined the Academy at a pretty young age. She flew TIE Interceptors for the Empire, and eventually they gave her the 128th TIE Interceptor Squadron. She was loyal to the Emperor, but when the Death Star destroyed Alderaan, her feelings began to change. When we met up on Gerard 5, she decided to defect and join the Rebel Alliance. Good thing. Kaysen is an ace pilot, definitely one of our best. I think she and Wedge are secretly in competition for the top slot, but I wouldn't want to bet on that race.
So the biography section is basically giving you the backstory and names and such of all of the rogues that you're supposed to be flying with throughout the game. Unfortunately, all of these personalities do not come through in the game itself. Aside from Kaysen's, obviously she has the most development out of any of the rogues, but everyone else could be just basically cardboard cutouts. They all do have personalities, and they're written fairly well in the book series that this game is based off of. Unfortunately, because of the fact that they only had 5 or 6 guys doing all of the voice work in this game, all of their voices sound the same, and because of the writing, there really isn't a way to tell them apart within the missions themselves unless they're actually named. Aside from Wedge, you could not tell Dak, Zev, Hobby, and all the rest apart just from what they say in the missions themselves. Let's go down to the Elite Rogues option here and see what this has to say. So the Elite Rogues screen is basically your status screen or rankings. You can see the top 10 scores we've had in this game on this game cartridge. All of the games from when this game was first put together, when this game was first turned on till now, are all collected here. There's no way to erase this data short of tampering with the cartridge, as far as I can tell. You can see our current file, HWR, is in the second spot. too short of the top slot. There are 2 more missions that I haven't yet gold medaled as of this recording. That is a 19 on the top as well, not 18. It looks like an 8, but it is a 9, just because of the bad resolution of that, which is odd considering this game's high resolution capabilities. Let's go to the showroom. Let's see what we got here. So the showroom is 2 different things. It's the concert hall as well as a movie section. The concert hall, here, let me just show you real quick. This allows you to choose any music track in the game, as well as a few that aren't featured in any levels. And you can just listen to while they show off their models for different vehicles in the back, in the foreground there. So you go through all of these in I believe chronological order. And there are some pretty decent tracks here, a lot of which are original music. So, if you wanted to get a handle on what the music in this game is more like, this is a good place to look first. Case and Moore's theme, fairly original music, a bit drawn from Leia's theme, but this game does carry over a lot of the arias and stuff from the movies. Obviously, they couldn't be expected to compose in completely original music, but let me see if I can find my favorite. Here we go. My favorite track. One of my favorite tracks in the whole game. I don't care if it is MIDI, but this mix of the Imperial March is one of my favorite ever done outside of the actual movie of The Empire Strikes Back. It just has the same gravitas that the actual track does. Even, like I said, even if it is just MIDI music, it does carry the same orchestral weight to it. And then there's that other track that I mentioned liking before, is the World Devastators, with the heavy bass piano in the back. Very, very fitting for an Imperial super weapon. Anyway, you can get a good look at some of the models that you might not see normally. The ship models you're probably going to, for the Alliance ships, you're going to see anyway, just from flying them around. But things like the TIE Interceptor models, the TIE Fighter models and everything. You saw the TIE D as we first got in. You saw the weird cross it has on its cockpit and its oddly shaped wings. It's a you can't really call up any character models. They wouldn't add that until later games in the series, but it is a good chance to take a look at some of the things that you kind of only saw out of the corner of your eye or from a distance before you blasted them with a missile. If you're into that sort of thing. It's completely optional, obviously. And then at the movies, I'm not going to show you what that does, but it actually takes you through all of the cinematics, opening and closing of all of the levels in this game. So if you missed a cinematic by accident, which, considering how much you're going to have to end up playing each of these levels to get gold medals in them, I don't know how you could, but you can go back and watch them, if just to watch them again, I suppose. Let's go ahead and head back to the main options menu here. Let me see. Let's go ahead and go to the passcode section. There's a couple of things I want to show you guys here. Let's go ahead and open this up. So the passcode section, a very simple passcodes. Obviously, you can only put in input passcodes that are up to 8 digits long. So there's a bit of, there's a bit of interesting limitation there. You can put in, I believe there's letters and numbers. No, letters and a couple of other things here. Punctuation marks. There are quite a variety of codes that do quite a variety of things. The Naboo Starfighter, which you saw in the very beginning of the game in our introductory chapter, can only be unlocked by putting in 2 passcodes to do something. And there are a couple of other things that can only be done through entering passcodes, which I'm going to be showing off in the penultimate episode of this Let's Play. Let me see. Let me see now. We have game settings, sound settings, and controller settings. The controller settings, basically, you can choose between a couple of different presets. I always use the default just because that's what I'm used to. Sound settings, you can adjust the mix, the music, sound effects, and everything else like that. Game settings, you can change between... Here, let me show you. This one's there's a few options here that aren't usual for an N64 game. Aside from just the auto roll and auto level, which help your flights, free camera, this is actually... Basically, these two are to help raise your difficulty. If you have free camera off, that means that the camera is going to stick directly behind your craft, and it's going to be a little harder to see things. And crosshairs off means you can't really see where you're shooting. High resolution, obviously, that's to increase the resolution of the game itself. If you have this off, the game cartridge can actually run on an N64 that does not have the expansion pack equipped, where the game doesn't look nearly as good, honestly. You notice that all of the videos so far in this Let's Play have been in HD. That's only because this game actually outputs at a higher resolution than almost any other N64 game is capable of. Only a few others are capable of doing this, and only ones that came very, very late in the N64's life. This is really a technologically remarkable game for as early as it came out in the N64 era. But now that we've taken a look at the options setting, I want to go to one more thing before I cut you guys loose. You notice that I had 17 gold medals, despite the fact that I'd only just finished the 16th mission.
Race through Beggar's Canyon in your T-16 Skyhopper. Test your skill against Zev, Dak, or Wedge.
So this mission is actually the first of 3 bonus missions that you can play in this game. This one you get by beating all of the regular levels with at least a bronze medal. Then you are free to play this game however long you wish. You can only choose from one vehicle, Luke's old T-16 Skyhopper, and you can let's go ahead and jump in. You don't even get a hangar screen, you go right to the mission itself.
Canyon. It's tricky, so listen up. The main canyon is fairly simple, but watch out for sandcrawlers taking a shortcut. The left branch is harder, but the right branch is the toughest. Lots of twists and turns.
So they're actually...
Well, I'm an old bantha, so I'd better take the main route. I'll meet you at the moisture farm on the plateau.
Well, I'll take the left branch if you don't mind racing against me. Guess you're on the right branch, huh, Wedge? You got it.
So we're going to go ahead and race against Zev here, even though I've already beaten this game. Basically, the idea is you can race against one of the 3 other rogues, and whoever you beat will determine what medal you get. Obviously, the right branch, where Wedge is going, is the hardest, so you get a gold medal for beating him there. This branch with Zev is very wide, very easy to play. This is where you get the bronze medal, and if you go to the left against Dak, you can get a silver medal. Not difficult. The right branch is actually fairly difficult, but it's not long, and it's pretty easy.
I used to make this run every day in my old T-16.
Luke is a bit cocky, but hey. So yeah, that run would have earned us a bronze, but since I already have a gold medal this mission, obviously I'll link the gold medal run of that in at the end here. But there are actually 2 other missions that we're going to be covering in separate videos, simply because even though they're bonus missions, they do have quite a bit to do. They are full missions, even though they're bonus missions, and they have quite a bit to do, especially if you want to get a gold. So I'm going to go ahead and cut you guys loose here, and I will see you all next time on Let's Play Star Wars Rogue Squadron for the second of our 3 bonus missions, which may seem a little familiar to you guys if you've watched some of the movies recently. See you all then, folks. Good night.